All right, so we got our weight inside of here, and then I added another little extra piece back here. I'm gonna save this area in here for my receiver and then a couple electronics, and then the rest of them are gonna go here. But right now we're gonna go ahead and fill the inside of our tanks with our lead here. So here's what here's what I'm using there, and then these guys here, and these were cast. If you guys are interested in that, I'll make a separate video on how I did that. A lot of people think it's super dangerous, but from the research that I've done online, if you keep the lead at a relatively low temperature, you could melt it and not create a bunch of hazards for yourself. But you still want to use a respirator and or some sort of something that's gonna clean the your breathing air, or filter, excuse me. So anywho, I made these molds and I printed some of the pieces to press in the sand, casting sand, and then I casted these. Thought that was pretty cool, so we'll go ahead and get those installed. If you don't feel like doing that, you don't have to. You can definitely just use something else, like the sticky weights that most of the people use for cars and such. Oops. So you want to make sure that we go ahead and get our weight. This one first. If you're casting, you're going to go ahead and trying to figure out which way it goes. I believe it goes like that. I can see the chamfer up here. Alright. There's that one. There's still room to add more weight too. I didn't make a cast for this part here. So I'll see if I have any sticky weights that I'll just throw in there just to add some. There's that. And that turns this into about, I don't know, 3 pounds, 2-3 pounds. Oh shoot. It goes to thin it. It'll be alright. Leftover support. I'm actually see if I have any. I can wait until I start to get it installed. So once you do that, you'll go ahead and set it up on here. Alright, we're just gonna get our screws ready. And these are gonna be your 14 mil as well. I'm 3x14. Same principle. Get it tight until it's nice and snug, and back it off. That way you can still turn it in and out. So then we're gonna go to this guy here, and we'll square it off in here. That looks good. You don't have to use all these holes. I thought with all the weight it would need a bunch of mounting points. But it doesn't. It'll be fine. And then let's do another one here. If you want, you can fill them up. Go ahead. That's why I did it. You know what? We're just gonna do it. We don't want any issues later on. This one, M3x12. Got some weights. Oh, that's nice. This one. Another one. Yeah, that one's not too good. See that? Come on. 3. That's 16. Okay, so we have our tanks on. Now you're gonna really start to feel the weight. So with all that, without the cab and the hood, this is probably about 30 pounds, maybe 32 pounds-ish. And then we still have room for more weight. It's completely up to you guys if you want to keep adding up in here. I mean, you always could. I have these 2 little blocks left over here that I made to go right in there, but I want my electronics to go right there. So I may just actually put these right up in here. And then if I use these, it'll put me right at about 36.5, maybe 37 pounds. But yeah, that's where we're at now. So let's go ahead and got cold here again. Put the beanie back on. We're gonna go ahead and start to mess around with the cab part. I know we put a portion of it together before we painted it. So I kind of did one of the front doors with some of the detail, the glue-on features, and I did put the window in for the front door. So we'll go ahead and show you guys how I did that with the other side, and then we'll show you guys how I cut the windows and then get the rest of the windows in. And then once we get those in, we can start to build the rest of the cab. I mean, technically we could put the top and bottom on, but we want to wait on that for right now. We want to get the windows, and I think it'll be much easier if we do it that way. So let's go ahead and start to do that. All right, guys, let's go ahead and start getting work on the cab. We're gonna go ahead and start to cut our windows. What I grabbed are these 1 millimeter by 10 centimeter by 15 centimeter acrylic sheets, and they come with this this plastic cover just to help so you don't scratch. So that's what we're going to be using today. So let's set those to the side here. Just wipe off your space, because I'll show you how I do it. So I'm going to go ahead and set this down. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to grab our window template. Excuse me. We actually have templates, excuse me. And you guys are wondering, like, oh, there's supposed to be, 6 windows, not 5 or 4. Well, this template's going to work for 2 windows. This template's going to work for 2 windows as well. We just have to flip them over. So with this, we're going to go ahead and find our straight corner, which is probably going to be these 2. And we'll line up the corners here so we don't have to make 2 cuts. You don't have to be perfect. You want to be close. And then what I'll do is I'm going to grab my clamp here. I'm just going to clamp it down. Make sure everything looks good. I think that looks pretty slick. So then what I'm going to do is grab my X-Acto knife. Grab a blade. I usually use a big razor, like a big razor knife like this guy. Seems to wander. I also don't have any more of those right now. So, okay, so what you're gonna do is just go ahead and, you don't have to push hard at first. Just go and make your cut. All right, and then we're gonna keep going. We'll just keep going with it. All right, and that one feels good. So this one, what we want to do, because I'll show you how I cut these pieces. I'm gonna cut this whole piece right here. Right, so we're gonna go this way. Let's kind of go this way again. I'm going to follow this back. Go a couple times, go 3, 4, 5 times. You just want to make sure you're scoring it nicely. Alright, and maybe just this one more time, just because we can. Alright, and then remember what side you did. So what I'll do is just go like this, like 1, and we'll do the same on this one. 1, and I just have to figure out which side I need on this one. So, okay, so we know that that's one side. We'll take the clamp off, remove that, and then the reason why we did that whole one is because what you're gonna do is you're gonna bend it, and it should snap. If it doesn't snap, you need to score it some more. So we're going to score it a couple more times. And if you don't have your template in place, just make sure you stay in this line. And I'm pushing a little bit harder on this one. I may end up going back to the big razor. I'm not really digging how that one's cutting. Don't know where my handle is, but okay, so let's try that. There it is. You may not get like the cleanest break, but don't worry about that. So then we'll go ahead and cut our plastic on this side. Just bend it this way. And then just kind of following that groove. Alrighty. Okay, so let's go ahead and score this side a couple more times. Alright, see if we can get a break there. There we go. And we'll cut the other side of this plastic. Alright, so we have one window. And then we can confirm with the size. That looks muy bueno. Alright, so that's one side. So then that's going to be side 2. So we'll just do that, side 2. And you notice the subtle differences. And side 2. Well, I guess I'm just a fool because this is going to be the same one for either. It doesn't matter. It doesn't look square to me for some reason. You need to pay attention. And then this guy, what we'll do is we'll use this little one for this window. Alright, this one's going to be a little bit more difficult. So what I'm going to probably end up doing is lining it up on this longer one just so I can get this clamp on it. And we know that this edge right here and this edge is going to be our factory edge. So what we'll do is we'll just kind of line up this corner over here. And then this side and then this little corner. We'll line that one edge up right there, so all we have to do is just make a small cut. And grab a clamp. Okay, so then I'm just going to use this X-Acto knife just to kind of get my outline. You don't need to be round like these corners. It doesn't need to be round. You can go straight on it if you want. Whatever you want to do with that. You'll never see them. So this one's going to be a little bit harder, so you might want to just start doing some stuff like this now. At least try and get a straight line on it. And then what I'll do is maybe just grab this guy and this one again. Just kind of do some straight lines, so because you know you're going to break it or snap it. Yeah, this razor is nice. Okay. Hopefully we scored it enough because this is going to be a funky one. All right, perfect. So that one came out good. All right, now let's do this side. Perfect. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take our handy dandy plastic cutters and we're going to go ahead and cut this round. Or we kind of made it round already, so you could probably just tear it off. All right. We'll do the same thing with this guy. Looks like I didn't get this corner up here. So I'll just look at it and line it up. I'll make a nice little score on it. Normally I'd cut it with the little cutters, but I'm afraid that it will, won't work the way I want it to. I just split it. Perfect. All right. Just got a little bit left down here. What we'll do is we'll just snap it right off. And if all else fails, here's my hammer. Ta-da. All right, got a nice clean edge on there. And we'll just line it up and you can see that most likely that's going to fit. These aren't permanent. And I'll show you guys a little bit later if you guys didn't see my video on it. All right, so we have 2 done. Let's go ahead and see if we can get another one of these. Perfect. And then what we'll do is we're gonna use this factory edge. Probably go a long way. That looks good. Yep. Clamp the booty out of it. Before you really clamp it, just make sure you're lined up because this seems to be floating around on here. All right. And with this, we're just gonna kind of go wild with it. We'll go right across. All right. Let's go ahead and hit this side. Oh no. A little over on that one. All right, that should be enough scoring on that. You can that piece I could probably use for future projects. So we'll save this guy for something else. These 2 right here we'll just throw away. All right. That was a nice score right there. Same with this, we'll save this one for future projects. Just go ahead and put it back in the same bag that I had. And then we're gonna need half of one for this right here. Okay, so now we have 2. Let's just double check, make sure we're looking good. Yeah, I think we'll make that work. I made this 0.5 millimeter smaller on each side, so in theory there should be a little bit of wiggle. So we're done with those templates. Those templates are just temporary. You can throw those away once you're done, unless you feel like you're gonna be building another one. Because I'm gonna probably be building another one because I want one without a ripper as well. I like to see that detail in the back. Plus, I think it'd be pretty awesome to see some of the other stuff, like the other details that come out, as far as the tow hitch and counterweight and things like that. Maybe a winch. All right, now we got to do the door. So with this one, just gonna figure out which side it goes on. All right, so yeah, so this one will number for sure too. So that'll be the driver or pass side. So pass. Oh. Dang, this piece is just too small, so we'll set that to the side. Save that for later on in life. Oh, didn't realize the video got cut off when I was getting this all done and cut. Excuse me. So I got this cut out the same way I did the other ones. So you just want to make sure that it fits inside this little pocket here, or this little cutout. And then what we'll do is we'll grab our glue. Hopefully your tip is a lot finer than mine. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna do little taps, just the smallest taps. Not even really touching it with the thing. We're just gonna create a ball at the end of this. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe you guys can see what I'm gonna do. Let's get it in there. So if you guys can see that just that little ball, we're not gonna smush it on there. We're just gonna tap it. When you get to this edge, you want to just do it on the corner. You're gonna get some on the outside edge of the piece that we're gonna glue, but don't worry about it. Okay, so go ahead and put your cap on, set that aside. And we're gonna grab our face. Okay, so what we're gonna do, grab it by the hinge here, and then we're gonna line up this top part. All right, we'll go at like an angle. Line up that and this outside. And then we'll go ahead and start to just lay it on there. And in theory, there we go. And we'll just go ahead and smush it on. All right, just go ahead and just touch down on all the edges here. Get that glue nice and smushed. All right, flip it over or flip it to the side. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna wipe it. Just wipe it. Some of you guys might not like to get glue on your fingers, but to me, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. If you let it sit there for a few hours, the oils in your fingers and the sweat and all that will start to have it pull off. So there's days where my whole finger is just completely coated with glue, and again, sweat and the oil. Once you go to wash your hands after a few hours, it just comes right off. So don't be too scared of it. It's not that bad. All right, this looks great. So we'll go ahead and wipe it down real quick. Just make sure we get all the flakes off of it. All right. Looks good. that's what you're gonna end up with as far as this door. So we can just make sure that we squished everything as well. After you pick it up, just go ahead and mine's still wet. I can move it around still. So I'll just pick it up, and then if you could still move it around, great. Just make sure it's all straight, and then we'll continue to squish down these edges. All right,